Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I've been trying to look more into the DoorDash driver, and I remember when we first started hearing about this case, it was like a known thing where everybody was saying the DoorDash driver was cleared. Well, I can't find it anywhere where it says that. I went through all 4 press conferences. Don't say it. They do say in 2 of the press conferences, they go on to list some of the people that they don't believe that is involved. And they never mentioned the DoorDash driver. I went through all of these videos, all of the updates that Moscow was putting out. Don't say it. I went to their page so these were the video updates, but then they were doing the written updates. Went through all of that, nowhere. They actually do have a section of who is not believed to be involved. Guess who's not on that list? The DoorDash driver. And the thing is they include like everybody. How do I say this? Basically, the list that they include, you would think if they didn't believe the DoorDash driver was involved, that they would have included him or her on that list. This is who is not believed to be involved. 2 surviving roommates, male in the grub truck surveillance video, private party driver who took Kaylee and Madison home on November 13th. The male Kaylee and Madison called numerous times during the early morning hours of November 13th. Any individual at the residence when 911 was called. The individual on the lease who moved out of the residence before the school year started and was not present at the time of the incident. The male or his friend who was thought to be a possible stalker and followed Kaylee into the parking lot of a local business in October of 2021. I just caught that. The male or his friend? Huh. I didn't know there's any talk of like a friend as a stalker. But anyway, the female associate professor and chair of the history department at the University of Idaho suing a TikTok user for a defamation. I was watching some old videos, so I'm going to play you a clip from News Nation. They're talking to criminal defense attorney Mark Geragos or Geragos. I don't know how you pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced 2 different ways. This guy on News Nation pronounces it Geragos, but I've heard other people say Geragos, but whatever. So, yeah, he's a criminal defense attorney. So I'm just going to play you like a quick clip from it, but I was just listening to like old Moscow videos because sometimes you can find some interesting information if you go back, like, months before when it all first happened, and you go back and watch some of the old videos. Sometimes you'll catch some interesting things. So, yeah, let me play you this little clip because he talks about the DoorDash driver. They talk about how, well, I'll just play it for you and see what you guys think.
And this DoorDash phenomenon. So, Mark, here's the legwork that Dusty and the team did. Is DoorDash available in the area? Yes. Did she use DoorDash? Yes. Can I see Mark? I get tired of my own face. Did she call a place that delivered anything at 4 o'clock in the morning? Yes. Jack in the Box, which has since closed. I don't know why people think that's mysterious, but they were open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., so she could have ordered from Jack in the Box as there. But that person is still of fundamental importance here, whether they had involvement or not. The timeline, the DoorDash, go.
And by the way, they've interviewed the DoorDash person. I don't know why they say they've already cleared him or her, but that was the statement, at least, that they put out. I don't know that that isn't something that right now the defense isn't looking at. And I'll tell you, when you take the timeline and then you take the closing or the sealing of the warrant on his apartment, the accused, the defendant's apartment, Brian's apartment, and the fact that they're saying that that is something that they did because they're afraid that it may intimidate law enforcement. I can tell you, less than one hand the number of times in 40 years I've seen a sealing application that says we're sealing this because we're worried about threats to law enforcement. I've been involved in enough high-profile cases to tell you that is highly unusual, and that to me leads me to believe, at least, that maybe they got out over their skis.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to News.
Interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I'm a little bit confused, though, when he says about the DoorDash being clear. Let's listen to that again, because it almost sounded like he said that they made a statement that they did clear him, or was he more trying to say that they don't know why they didn't. I want to see how he words that again. Hold on.
DoorDash. Yes. Can I see Mark? I get tired of my own face. Did she call a place that delivered anything at 4 o'clock in the morning? Ah, yes. Jack in the Box, which has since closed. I don't know why people think that's mysterious, but they were open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., so she could have ordered from Jack in the Box as there. But that person is still of fundamental importance here, whether they had involvement or not. The timeline, the DoorDash, go.
And by the way, they've interviewed the DoorDash person. I don't know why they say they've already cleared him or her, but that was the statement, at least, that they put out. I don't know that.
See, I'm confused. See, okay, he said they interviewed him, and or him or her, and I don't know why they've said they've cleared him. Or is he meaning to say, I don't know why they haven't said they cleared him? Because then after he says, I don't know why they say they've cleared him, and they said that, but that was the statement that they put out. But I'm not sure if he's just talking about referring to them interviewing the DoorDash guy or girl. Because I'm not, why am I not finding the statement where they said that the DoorDash was cleared? So his statement right there is a little bit confusing what he means. Okay, so I'm editing this. I just want to add this in. I know that I understand what he's saying. He's obviously saying one thing. I'm not confused of what he's actually saying, but I'm wondering if he misworded it because I can't find a statement by law enforcement saying that. So I'm just wondering if he just like misspoke and he meant to say something else. That's all. But let me see.
That isn't something that right now the defense isn't looking at. And I'll tell you, when you take the timeline and then you take the closing or the sealing of the warrant on his apartment, the accused, the defendant's apartment, Brian's apartment, and the fact that they're saying that that is something that they did because they're afraid that it may intimidate law enforcement. I can tell you, less than one hand the number of times in 40 years I've seen a sealing application that says we're sealing this because we're worried about threats to law enforcement. I've been involved in enough high-profile cases to tell you that is highly unusual, and that to me leads me to believe, at least, that maybe they got out over their skis.
So, okay, they're sealing it because of threats to law enforcement. Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense. I mean, wouldn't that be more like threats to other, like, victim students? I mean, threats to law enforcement. Why would that be a reason why that they're sealing the information about his search warrant? I mean, who knows? Maybe they are in over their head. I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe that's what it is. But back to the DoorDash stuff, because that's what I'm mainly going to talk about in this video is the DoorDash. So this video that we just watched is from January 13th, just to kind of put it into perspective. So this would be after, well, obviously after Brian was arrested and yeah, a couple weeks after. So I went through all the press conferences that I could find. I can only find 4 of them, actually. I think that's all there was. So we have one on November 16th, one on November 20th, one on November 23rd, and one on December 30th. And they do not clear the DoorDash driver in any of these press conferences. They do, in 2 of them, go on to say who they don't believe is involved, but guess who's not on that list? The DoorDash driver. And then I even went through all of these videos, these updates that's on Moscow's website. Nope, it's not on there either. So I have no idea why we all thought that at the beginning because I cannot find it. The only place I could see anyone even mention that is an article by New York Post. Somebody actually had sent it to me on one of my lives, but where are they getting that from? I have no idea. I'm wondering if they heard, because you'll see on these, which I'm going to play the clips where they do list who has been cleared, and you'll see that they do say the driver that took them home that night, the private driver. Wonder if like somebody misheard and then it just spread and all of a sudden now it's the DoorDash driver? Here's the New York Post article that says it. And you know, sometimes these articles do get stuff wrong, so you can't take everything like, oh, it's 100%. So this is from January 5th. It's called University of Idaho student Xana Coronado got DoorDash delivery just minutes before her murder. And right here, right here. It says, authorities noted that law enforcement interviewed an unidentified DoorDash delivery driver who shed light on the timeline and was eliminated as a suspect. And remember, in that little clip that we watched from Mark, they mentioned how they do think that the defense may bring this up. They may inquire, like, well, what about this DoorDash person? So I don't know what they know, like what, for instance, like in those search warrants that the state did they find anything? We're going to go over the search warrants for the DoorDash too, which is kind of interesting, but we'll get to that after I play these clips. There's something in that was kind of interesting that I never noticed when I was going through it the first time, I should say. I guess we'll see, but let me play you those clips. I just want to let you know that I went through all of them. I'm just going to play you the two where they did mention who wasn't involved, just to show you that they do list him out, and why aren't they including the DoorDash driver on there? It's just weird because the DoorDash driver hasn't been identified. They haven't cleared him. Why wouldn't they add him or her on the list? It just doesn't make sense to me. Let me play you now the two press conferences where they go over who is not believed to be involved in this murder. This is, of course, before they arrested Brian. So one is from November 20th, and one's from November 23rd. So I'm just going to play the part where they list out the people that are not believed to be involved. And you can see they do not list the DoorDash driver. I'm really confused about that. The DoorDash driver should be on the list if they don't think him or her is involved, because they're including everybody that would have been around them that night that was associated with them that night. The DoorDash driver is like hugely important because they were there around the time of the murders. I don't understand if this person's already cleared, they need to come out and say that.
We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime. The two surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released, so any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject. Any online reports stating that the victims had been tied and gagged are not accurate. Detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road and searched those dumpsters in an effort to find additional evidence, but nothing of note was discovered.
Okay, so DoorDash guy, not on the list. But you know who they didn't name on this one is Jack, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. But on the press conference we're going to watch now, November 23rd, they do name him. So, and he's on the list of the written section that we went over too. So, but they just didn't name him on this one for some reason. Okay, so let's play November 23rd's press conference.
We do not believe the following individuals were involved. The 2 surviving roommates, the male seen in a grub truck video circulating on the internet, a private party who drove Kaylee and Madison home, any of the individuals who spoke to the dispatcher on the 911 call. We're also aware of a male whom Madison and Kaylee had called several times the morning of November 13th, and we do not suspect that individual.
So once again, DoorDash driver is not on the list of people not believed to be involved. Why? I don't understand. And where did we all get that? I mean, I remember when months ago everybody thought that they did say that. I'm just curious why we all thought that. I don't know. Like, or is it because we read this New York Post? I still have no idea why. In my head, back months ago, I thought they said that he or she was cleared. And so that person was kind of off my radar. Now, depending on who the DoorDash driver is, it makes me wonder, okay, so is the defense gonna bring that up? I'm sure they're gonna bring it up. Well, I don't know if they'll bring it up in the context of, oh, well, if the DoorDash driver was there around 4 a.m. and you're saying Brian was there at the same time, how didn't the DoorDash driver see Brian or something? Or maybe put it on the DoorDash driver, depending on who the DoorDash driver is. They obviously interviewed the DoorDash driver. There's some people that think that the DoorDash driver is Brian. They never gave us the name. Now, who was it? Somebody came in my live and said that it's supposedly a girl, the DoorDash driver. But is that like 100% confirmed? Okay, so I found where that came from. So it came from JLR Investigates. So he has Jack in the Box in Pullman, Washington confirms with me that Xana's DoorDash came from their establishment and that DoorDash driver was a woman with black hair that quit after the murders because she was traumatized. So I'm not going to put too much weight into this because, number one, I don't know if Jack in the Box would be informed on DoorDash's employees. Like, I mean, would they even know that, oh yeah, she quit? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not going to put all my cards on this one. And then, oh yeah, this person even says, how would Jack in the Box know if DoorDash employee quit? Somebody says a good point. Here's some of the comments. Oh, this one says, this stops rumors that BK is DD. Then this person says, Jack in the Box wouldn't know anything about DoorDashers. I agree about that. Because I don't think somebody calls Jack in the Box to get information. They're just going to talk to some random person there probably. Oh yeah, this says unconfirmed. But anyway, so it's just a post. So it says, okay, so Dee Dee left the food on the porch. BK lured Murphy to the room with the burger, locked him up. Doesn't that sound crazy as BK being Dee Dee? This one says, on his YouTube video, he also said Jack in the Box said Brian Koberger was a regular customer there and he orders bacon cheeseburgers when he comes in. Koberger is vegan, right? Okay, so yeah, I guess JLR, the guy, what this person's saying is that on JLR, the person that posted this, he said that the person that he talked to at Jack in the Box has said it was a woman and it was a woman with black hair, said that the same person also said that Koberger was a regular customer and orders bacon cheeseburgers. So this person's probably just lying. Not JLR, the person from Jack in the Box, I mean. Yeah, it's probably just somebody wanting attention. If look, somebody. Oh my god. Yeah, a lot of people are doubting this. So yeah, this doesn't confirm anything for me. It could be true, and I mean, when the trial comes, maybe it is, but right now I still think it's not. That's not been confirmed if this is where you guys are getting it from. Because, I mean, we'd have to trust a few people here in this whole thing. Like, that Jack in the Box employee could just be somebody, messing, wanting attention, and just messing with, oh, I'm just going to tell them this, people calling in, because maybe they get a lot of calls. And then you also have to trust him. So I don't know. It's up to you guys. You guys form your own opinion, what you want to make out of it, but I'm not convinced just by this post in a video that he supposedly did. Okay. I just wanted to show you, though, that's where that's coming from. And what if what if it was the DoorDash driver and Brian teamed up? We were talking about that in a live. The only problem I have with that is, like, how would they have known that somebody was going to order DoorDash? Unless if it was actually not planned on who they were going to kill, but they just wanted to kill one of their customers when they ordered. And that was the one that they decided on. And it wasn't like pre-planned on who it was going to be. Or maybe it was like, okay, they order a lot. So next time that they order, let's do it. So they were kind of like on call as far as like, it's just a scenario, very far-fetched kind of hypothetical. Let's say DoorDash driver gets their call, so he calls Brian. Hey, Brian, they ordered, and then he's like, they're basically both kind of ready for, whenever they order next. If they were planning, let's say they're planning on that's who they wanted to be the victim, so they wait for them to order, and then, not knowing when, but they know they order often, and then just to be they're just both ready, and then they order. So he calls Brian up, hey Brian, they ordered, and then they meet up. Just like I said, hypothetically, because there's some people including me, that were just trying to think, is that a possibility that maybe the DoorDash driver was his helper? They work together, just because it's just so weird that it was like around the same time. And if Brian really was scoping out the place and he was there, you know, around that same time, and he was going up and down the street, he made 4 runs. Like he went up and down the street 3 times, and then the 4th time, I think, is when he made that final run and then parked somewhere. So if he's watching and he's aware that the DoorDash driver's there, why would he still? Well, I guess he would still go in. That is why he waited, because he was waiting for the DoorDash driver to leave. Who knows? Or it would make a good, like, were they a team? It kind of makes sense. It would make kind of a good team, because the DoorDash driver could go see, you know, like, first of all, they would unlock their door, they would open their door. So it could be a case where the people like shove their way in when they open the door, but I don't think it was that, because I do think that he killed Kaylee and Maddie first, and then Ethan and Jana, but I guess who knows. Or it could be like just to kind of test out, you know, okay, when they open the door, kind of see what's going on, see if they're still up. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they don't have anything. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they don't have anything to do with each other. Maybe Brian was just waiting for the DoorDash driver to leave, and that's why he went up and down the street a couple times. Or there are some people that think, what if Brian is the DoorDash driver? Who knows? They never did release the name of the DoorDash driver. At least not that I'm aware of. I don't think officially. I know there's some people saying it was a girl, but I've never seen it. Let me see if I could actually find something. Wait, I just realized I was always focused on the 425 because it says Brian was seen speeding away at 420. So why do they have the time of death between, or the time that these murders took place between 4 and 425? So why add those extra 5 minutes? But also, if you notice, the time that he was seen making his 4th pass is supposedly at 4:04 a.m. So wouldn't it be more narrowed down to 4:04 to 4:20? So how many minutes is that? That's 16 minutes, but less, because by the time that's when he's making his 4th pass, 4:04. So by the time he probably is at least going to take a minute to park and then walk to the house, right? Let's at least go 4:05. And then, so let's say gets in the house 4:05, 4:06 maybe. That leaves him, 7 minutes before Xana's the last time she's on TikTok was 4:12? Hold on, let me see. I shouldn't be looking at New York Post timeline, but that's what I have up right now. I should go back to the affidavit, but let's see what they have. So 4:12, no, 4:17. Yeah, that's right. 4:17 is when the distorted audio. So 4:17. So that would give him, like, let's say he gets inside the house around 4:06. That'd probably be the earliest. That'd probably be, accurate. Give him a couple minutes to park and go inside the house, go upstairs. So that would be like 10 minutes to kill Maddie and Kaylee, and then maybe less, because this is when they heard the whimper. So that was probably already after he was maybe almost already done killing Xana and Ethan. So yeah, because then if he's speeding away at 4:20. He had to have probably at least ran out by like 4:19, right? Or I guess 4:20. I mean, yeah, he did it pretty quick, but I really do think it's doable, because I don't think it takes as long as what people are thinking to stab to death people. I mean, it takes a lot of energy, I'm sure, but I don't think time-wise it would take that long. But I just don't understand why they don't narrow that time frame a little bit more specific, because they could have it 4:04 to 4:20. Really, they can. So why do they have 4 to 4:25 when they could have it more specific and accurate? If they are so positive that Brian Koberger is the one that did this, they should be able to close that time a little bit more accurate. But okay, so I forgot to say what I was doing here, so I had to add this little audio in. So I'm going through the search warrant documents to find the DoorDash search warrant and get as many details as I can about DoorDash and what the heck is going on with the DoorDash driver. All right, so here's the documents. Wait, DoorDash Incorporated. This matter came before the court on February 10th on the court's motion to seal or redact pursuant to blah, blah, blah. They did a Zoom hearing. Ann Taylor appeared on behalf of Mr. Koberger. The court reviewed the records, considered the arguments presented, weighed the interests in privacy and public disclosure, and announced its findings of fact on the record. Therefore, the court finds it necessary to seal in part and redact the record related to the search warrant because the documents contain highly intimate facts or statements, the publication of which would be highly objectionable to a reasonable person. So yeah, hereby the record shall be disclosed except for the following. That's 3/7/23. All right, let's see what this one says. Oh, this is, okay, so this is going backwards. So this is from December 8th. The other one was from what? March. But the one previous, it's, let's see what it says. So the state of Idaho is asking basically to seal the search warrant and related documents because it'll interfere with enforcement proceedings and also constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy, disclose the identity of a confidential source, and disclose investigative techniques and procedures. So I wonder if, so let's say the DoorDash driver is not involved. Wonder if they do have important information about what happened. Maybe they did see something or something. Because, I don't know, I mean, disclose the identity of a confidential source, unless if they're just trying to protect this person. But I mean, if they didn't see anything, why do they need to protect them? All right, let's see here if there's anything else interesting. So 12/8. So on 12/6, they obtained a search warrant for DoorDash. The information received was placed into evidence at the Latah County Sheriff's. And then on 12/7, they got an email from DoorDash, which contained the requested information. Okay, let's see. I have a feeling this is all they're going to show us here. Nothing, huh? So they're talking about the search warrant and then a written inventory of the property found and seized having been duly made and taken before the undersigned magistrate or judge and filed herein. What the heck is it, I wonder? Is it just like information like, oh, what time they got it? Or is there actually something that they got? Look, it says, it is further ordered that said property, so this is the property they got from DoorDash, whatever they got. Because they, whatever the search warrant was for that they got, it says may be delivered to any person or lab or laboratories for the purpose of conducting or obtaining any tests, analysis, or identification of said property which is deemed necessary by the custodial law enforcement agency or jurisdictional prosecuting attorney without further order of this court. Dang, I wish I knew, like, what are they getting from DoorDash? Okay, wait, let's see, this might be a little bit more specific. Okay, here we go. It says, so here is basically the probable cause for why they presented to the court of why they wanted to get the search warrant, like why they felt like they would be important in this case. So it says Lawrence Mowry, having given me proof upon oath this day showing probable cause, establishing grounds for issuing a search warrant and probable cause to believe that the property referred to and sought in or upon said premises consists of information related to the investigation of the November 13th, 2022 homicides that occurred at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, to include all information in your possession or control related to sales, deliveries, purchases, and or transactions made to 1122 King Road, Moscow. It says for the period of January 1st, 2022 to present. Wait a minute. What? Wow. They're going way back. I didn't even catch that last time. So they're going back to January 1st, 2022 to present which would be, you know, in November, or well, present. They might even, I don't know if they're just going to like, the present is just going to be up until like, you know, November 13th, that last order, or is it going to be the December 6th when they made this request? But still, okay. So they want date and time of sales, date and time of deliveries, purchases and or transactions, name and identification of the driver, a full description of the vehicles used, any and all communications between drivers and the purchasers. Interesting. And the reason why this is even more interesting is because this search warrant was requested December 6th. This is after they already have their eyes on Brian. Because wasn't it, November 29th, I think? Something like that, where the officer found Brian's car on campus and they were already looking into him. It just makes you wonder. So we're going to go back. So that's making the whole theory of like the DoorDash driver teaming up with Brian possibly more like believable, or Brian being the DoorDash driver, or okay, let me see what else. I don't know, I didn't pay more close attention when I was first going over all the dates for this, but it's just so much, you know. You get like 769 pages that you're trying to go through and sum it up, and I remember I was trying to make this up. I actually still have it. We could probably look through it sometime, but I try to condense it down into like the companies, the search warrants, and the dates. I did a video on it actually, but so, okay, let's see here. There's just so much is my point, that there's a lot of things that I didn't get a chance to actually focus on, you know? Okay, so I mean, there it is though. Why are they going back for January 1st and getting all the previous orders of DoorDash? Because that's what I was saying. Like, what if they did team up, the DoorDash driver and Brian, and they were regular callers, so they either had them picked out as those are the people they wanted to do that to, and they just waited. Okay, let's wait for them to order next, and we'll be on, you know, Brian be on call. I'll call you, and we'll be ready whenever they order next. Or is Brian the DoorDash driver? You know what? I'm gonna do one more thing here though, because I want to see if an affidavit do they say the DoorDash driver is cleared? Oh, no. Okay, let's try. How is there? Okay, let's try this. Here we go. Okay. When they talk about the DoorDash. It says, this is with the exception of Cornodal, who received a DoorDash at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. That's it. Wonder if we just like filled that in our head and figured, oh, so law enforcement talked to the DoorDash driver, and you know, it must have been cleared because they talked to him. I don't know. Where did everybody get that they were cleared? Because I'm just not seeing it. Let's see. All right, next. That's it. Are you serious? Let's try to put a... There's nothing, you guys. There's nothing. You gotta be kidding me. DoorDash. I am going through all the documents, the affidavits, the arrest warrant, the arrest affidavit that's in, or probable cause affidavit, sorry. That's in a couple of these different documents that I'm just searching through all of them. DoorDash to see when they mention it, and I'm telling you, there's nowhere where they say they're cleared. That's it. Hold on, let me try one more. Oh, this is the one we just went through. And those aren't gonna be there. So, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think. This DoorDash driver thing, I mean, I wonder if there's something to it, of why they haven't identified this person. They haven't cleared this person. The Mark Geragos, the criminal defense attorney, said he thinks the defense is going to bring that up, or they're going to bring up the DoorDash driver in some way. They're going to use that. All right. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Because a lot of the times when there's a lot of stuff going around that people think that, oh, everybody's saying that. Just like this, for instance, that everybody was saying in the beginning, oh, no, DoorDash driver's been cleared. Where I think it comes from maybe let's say one person, well, New York Times Post, let's see if somebody read that. Or one person just like misunderstood when they said driver and they thought that it meant the DoorDash driver. And then they say, oh no, it's been cleared. And then all these people start like spreading it instead of like checking themselves. They just start spreading it. And then all of a sudden there's so many people saying it. So everybody just kind of accepts it as like, oh, it must be fact. Everybody's saying it. Okay, they must have been cleared. And nobody decides or feels that they should double check it. Hey, I'm guilty of it too at the beginning. But then I took like months off from this case. But when everything first came out, but I guess I was just like overwhelmed with information. We had the probable cause affidavit. We had then when this 700-page search warrant document came out and just everything. And then I took, months off, and I probably would have double checked if I would have stayed on the case, but I just got sidetracked with other cases. Let me know what you guys think about this whole DoorDash driver. And have a good one. Bye.